because the why is very more important than the what. Checking the chat, checking the chat, checking the chat, checking the chat one time. Man is the microcosm of the macrocosm. The God on earth is built on the pattern of the God in nature, but the universal consciousness of the real ego transcends a millionfold the self-consciousness of the personal for false ego. Man is the microcosm of the macro. So the reason that we understand how the universe works is because there is no separation between us and the universe. Only if you exist as a human being that is completely disconnected from the facts of your connection to the universe, then you might be confused. You might think that money keeps you alive, when in fact it is your electrical currents that keep you alive. You may think your gun protects you, when in fact it is your magnetic energy that comes from your current that protects you. The God on earth is built on the pattern. So if we understand specific patterns of stars and orbits, an empty space, and electromagnetic energy, then we are now doing the real work. But the universal consciousness of the real ego, which would be the sun, which would be the deeper sun that attracts our sun, that probably attracts that, like it could go on and on and on and on times a trillion. The universal consciousness of the real ego transcends a millionfold the self-consciousness of the personal for false ego. So when you align with the pattern of God in nature, see your human heaviness, your feelings, your emotions. You want a guy to come to you and make you feel good. You don't want to understand how you are connected to the universe, and that's where the disconnect allows. You want somebody to say, baby, I figured it out. Here goes $1 million, and you just sit on an island and get your booty rubbed, and I figured it out. That's your version of spiritual understanding. I'm not saying that you can't get your booty rubbed in Bermuda, but I'm saying it's going to take you understanding your connection to the cosmos, for which you could just go to Bermuda right now. It's planes that fly in and out of Bermuda every single day, B. 24/7, 365. Why are you not on there? Ultimately, there is some human heaviness, there are some feelings, there are some thoughts that you are processing that are blocking you from your connection to what's happening already. So let's look at this visually and talk about this metaphysically, so then you could have more power. And when you start to understand your chart, you would then begin to it start making more sense to you when you're looking at your chart. Because if I show you your chart, let's look at a chart. I'm going to show y'all. Watch this. When I show people charts like this, they always be like, it's so confusing. I don't know what you're doing. What this talking about? It's all these symbols and signs and lines and squares and triangles and stars. I don't want to look at that. But then when I show you this, you're like, oh, that's just an electron, proton, neutron, nucleus, We learned about this in science when I was a little girl in school. I was a little boy in school. That's the nucleus. Electrons, protons, 6 electrons, 6 protons, 6 neutrons. Hood. Everybody know that. See, this is not confusing, but this is confusing. Can y'all make this make sense? How is this confusing? But this ain't. Make it make sense, y'all. All right? So, this is the human body. And this is the energy, electrons, that the human body produce by understanding what in fact it actually is. And from there, you have different orbits and different energies and different vibrations and different returns of energy. And if you keep building up your energy, you would be like kind of like me, where you getting money every single day from people that you done helped from a YouTube video that you recorded 5 years ago. Man, I just saw your video on Bombajira. You saved my life, hood. Here goes some money. Why, thank you. That's an outer ring. That ring out, and I'm doing shit right now. I'm constantly generating ripples. I don't know what you're doing with your time and energy, but ultimately, as a nucleus, as a neutron, as a proton, you could begin to be in a neutral state and create positive energy from yourself, from your thoughts. See, your negative energy or your negative ions should not exist outside of you. See, when you absorb electrons into your nucleus and proton, that's like sticking a goddamn fork in a goddamn plug. And it's like, yeah, this is an electrical port. You're supposed to put plugs in it and it provide power. But you know, your kids, they'd be like, no, I want to pour water on this. This is what y'all do with y'all thoughts, emotions. Y'all have y'all thoughts and emotions that y'all can put out into the world. Support me. Love me. Send me positive energy. I'm so cold with this shit. A person can't even dislike me because I done put out so much positive energy. Like, people, y'all ain't never seen a person, well, come to me and be like, hood, I can't stand you. You get on my nerves. Y'all ever see how people, y'all might like them, y'all might think they cool, but people just can't stand them and always send them negative energy? You know why? Because within their nucleus and protons, they didn't understand their orbit. They thought they want their electrons to be inside of them. But your electrons are outer flows of energy, of currents that you build within yourself. It's a natural phenomenon, and you can see it every day with our sun in our solar system. Our sun is a nucleus that consists of neutrons and protons. How would we even fucking know this? Because we are fucking nucleuses and protons, and we can see our orbit exists outside of us. This is why, like, it's like if you thinking on bullshit, right? You ever been mad at your girlfriend, and then your girlfriend, your thoughts supposedly in your mind, right? You ain't did nothing outwardly. You just probably sitting there playing the PS5 or whatever, right? But you on bullshit, you thinking about bullshit, and she walked past you, and she just walked past you. She don't even see your face. She just see your posture and the way you smashing on the buttons, and then you might get killed or something in Call of Duty and just get real mad. She be like, damn, what's wrong with you? If your thoughts existed within your mind, how should you even know something was wrong with you? Obviously, your thoughts exist outside of you. Your actions exist without you. Your heart definitely exists outside of you. You might think your heartbeat exists outside of you. What you'll come to realize is that your heart or your earth is more or less how you live, right? Some of us living fucked up, right? Some of us are living well. Based upon your heart is how you living out here. Ain't no way around it. You got to get your heart together to change your electromagnetic energy. Become a nucleus. So your heart receives the energy from the sun, and vice versa, even more. So you got Mars out here, you got Saturn out here, Jupiter out here, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. All of these planets are relative to our sun. These planets operate based upon the energy that our sun is giving out. If ever Saturn said, you know what? I'm tired of this nigga, son. I'm about to go check this nigga, bro. Fuck all of that, man. He got me operating on this orbit. 10 times out of 10, he gonna get burnt up by the sun because the sun is much more massive and much more powerful. Now, this is in relation to when you are tuned in and tapped into your purpose, direction, and you know where you're going, and you also have your operating personality quirks in order. It's so easy to say what you want, but don't have no action. It's so easy to say you love somebody, but don't know how to show it. It's so easy to say you want to expand, but you find yourself doing the same thing every day. If you find yourself in a loop, 10 times out of 10, your Jupiter is negatively aspected and it's challenging you to get out of your box. Where's your Jupiter at in your chart? Where's your Saturn at in your chart? Because the same way as you could expand and imagine, hey, I'm the man, I'm that girl, right? It's the same way it'll be like, girl, you need to relax. How many times have y'all heard people say, oh, I'm burnt out, I need to take a break? How the hell you going to be expanding and then you going to take a break? You obviously don't understand purpose and destination if you thought you was just going to go straight forward. Meaning that you should have a level of expansion and a level of contraction daily. I don't go hard. It may look like I go hard, don't it? But when it's time for me to chill, I'm chilling. When it's time for me to listen, I listen. When it's time for me to work, I work. I expand, I contract. So I'm understanding my Jupiter, I'm understanding my Pluto in real time. But ultimately, you can take all of this planetary influences and reduce it to just your human body. And even deeper, why are you heavily influenced by a planet? Because atoms consist of 99.99999% empty space. What does that mean, dear friends? That means that the screen or computer you're looking at right now, the chair you're sitting on while you look at this computer screen, even you or yourself are mostly not there because, let's look at, I don't know, the Adam in the Bible. Biblical Adam, mankind, is created from Adama, earth. So if Adam is man or mankind, what the fuck is this? If this is an Adam, isn't this man and mankind too? So isn't Adam in the Bible not specifically talking about a man per se, but man in general? Goodness gracious. Wait for y'all to take things literally and then get a false premise and then kill yourself all out the Bible and remove yourself from even absorbing righteous knowledge. Anyways, an atom is about 99.9999999% empty space. This is why you must remove your human heaviness, because if you remove the empty space from the atoms of all people, the entire race could fit into a volume of a sugar cube. This is why when people start talking shit about me, I stop talking to them. You might be like, damn, Hood, why you stop talking to me? Because I hear what you be saying. We right next to each other. Ain't no distance between nobody. I have to wake up and check people on a daily based upon the fact that people don't understand that I can hear what they thinking about. I'm the worst person to be a friend with because you absolutely have to be the person that you say you are. And once I find out, I'm like, all right, I don't want to deal with you because you don't recognize that I'm right here. The entire human race can fit in the volume of a sugar cube. Y'all don't understand that y'all are pure energy. This is a more updated understanding of the nucleus in reference to the electron cloud. Your nucleus is your meditation, your intention, your ritual work. Your electron cloud is the result. If you're looking at your life and you unhappy, it's because you do not do this work right here. You don't do the nucleus work. You don't do the centering work. You don't do the grounding work. You don't understand that life is very simple and is not based upon you doing all of this extra shit, because that's you trying to be an electron cloud. You can never be an electron cloud. You can only be the nucleus. You can only be the center of attention. You can only be the attractor of all of that you wish. What do you wish for? How do you wish for it? Are you tuned in and tapped into your purpose? Or are you tuned in and tapped into what another person say? There's people right now that be like, well, I like what you're saying, but I don't like you. I'm not even a person that you should like or dislike. Because 10 times out of 10, I don't like nobody. my personality is trash. You feel me? Like I am not the type of person that's interested in being friends with y'all. I'm delivering this information in a clear way so you can understand it. And I don't want nothing bad to happen to you. But at the end of the day, I done seen people that flip sides, switch sides, do backdoor fuckery shit. That how could I ever hold an inch of emotion towards another human being that's going to do whatever the fuck that they want to do? So essentially, the only thing that I could put energy in is to nucleize myself or center myself. And from this nuclear energy, so you get nucleus, nuclear, but that's also new, clear, viewpoint, like new, N-E-W, clear, C-L-E-A-R, new, clear, viewpoint of yourself, to which I create the energy from my meditations, from my intentions, from my ritual. This is what true witchcraft is. This is what true magic is. But see, if you looking at it from a human perspective, from an ego perspective, listen. If you got in your mind this big, brilliant house, perfect life, that's in your mind. And it don't exist. But what does exist is the feelings that you have in reference to you not having something that don't even fucking exist. That's a false premise for your ass. Everything is non-physical. Everything is a matter of magic. Thus, don't nothing matter besides what you want. So the person that's going back and forth to Bermuda every day intentionalized that and brought that into reality. You can do the same thing too. You just have to understand that an atom, yourself, consists of 99.999999999% empty space. Okay? Very simple shit. Right? Third grade reading level. Our bodies are made up of cells, which are made up of atoms, and atoms are mostly empty space. An atom is a centralized region of extreme density and positive charge, i.e., the nucleus. For the human beings, it would be the body. Even deeper, it would be the heart. Even deeper, it would be the goddess within the heart. Surrounded by a region of standing probability waves. So you could go into the center of your heart, commune with the goddess, and begin to create and emit the electrons and energy for which you want to live in. If you do not do this, please don't complain about the life that for which you did not even create. Y'all will complain about, oh, I want to move out of this apartment. Oh, I want to get out of this relationship. Oh, I want to get out of this dead-end job. But are you, trust me, it's just something that I've done so much that, I get frustrated when everybody doesn't do this, right? And it's real, I can't feel I get frustrated because I'm not a special person. I'm a normal ass human being that understood that your heart and your electromagnetic frequency is what returns to you. And what I thought it would do would trickle out and spread to people that I knew and people that I fuck with, my friends and stuff. Then I realized what is damn, everybody has to deal with their own nucleus. Because even if planets rotate around the sun, they still have their own shit to deal with. So a planet could have its own orbit that will go like the moon. The Earth has its own orbit that the moon rotates around. The moon only rotates around the Earth. Uranus has moons. Saturn has moons. Jupiter has moons. And I bring that to say even planets have orbits. You got your select group of hoes that be texting you. Why when you get a haircut and post it on Instagram, you get, hey, big head DMs. Them is the girls that's around your orbit. The dudes that's always talking to you. And trust me, this is where it gets to I'm always meeting guys that, you know, smack me 2 times on my booty. Why can't I get a guy that smacked me 3 times on my booty? What is wrong with these guys? They all want to smack you 2 times on your booty and never do correction work for your orbit. Do you think that goddamn Felicia Rashad has the same energy responses from men as you? Is it because y'all are different or because y'all put out different electrical currents, electrons in relation to something that you do quite naturally? Thus, you might get ragamuffin energy because you program yourself to put out ragamuffin electrons and then attract ragamuffin energy and never think that you are the magnet to the type of men that'll come to you. Okay? So as I was stating earlier, everything orbits around an orbit which rounds another orbit. The sun has a path around a greater sun because the sun is a part of a galaxy that's a part of other like all of these are galaxies that are operating between a larger sun, Sirius maybe, right? The sun orbits Sirius. But our Earth orbits the sun. The moon orbits the Earth, which would be analogy on top of analogy about you being the sensor and then attracting the types of energies that you want to orbit around you. How do you do this? By studying your chart. Sounds crazy, right? Hopefully it don't sound as crazy as before you thought, before you tapped the video, and now you're like, okay, it's kind of making a little bit more sense. First, you was losing me. At first, astrology seemed complicated. Now it don't seem as complicated. It seems as though it's something that I do naturally, but now I have the option to engage based upon my own personal heart or my own personal chart, right? Chart is just heart with a C in it. Astrology heart. Let's get rid of the C because our heart is our electromagnetic field. Electric, it's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. You gotta feel it. Why everybody did the electric slide, but everybody didn't study their astrology chart after the reception? Tell me that. Why couldn't we study our astrology charts at the cookout, but we was doing the electric slide? Y'all make it make sense. I'm not. Magnetic. Everything is magnetic. The clothes that you got on, you magnetize them to you. The hairstyle you wearing, you magnetize it. Your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your kids, your circumstance, you going back and forth to the hospital, all of the things you magnetize by the strength of your heart. If you do not understand how to strengthen your heart, then you may look at life as you being a victim. Because your heart is not a result of how you feel. Your heart is a matter of how you give. You can give out of fear to say, like, here go a little bit for you, but I'm going to keep a lot of it for me just in case somebody take me out. Or you can say, here it goes, because I know that if I give you everything that I got, it has to come to me. So part of the heart is distributing a massive amount of energy. And I'm telling y'all, I'm going to get a cash app. I know I get a cash app every day from a random ass stranger. You know how I know I'm going to get a cash app by random ass strangers? Because I done gave out so much game and so much information. Motherfucker going to just run into it every now and again. Be like, here you go, hood. I don't really worry about money coming in to me like other people do. But at the same time, a lot of people haven't given a lot to motherfuckers, so they naturally would be worrying about that type of shit. When you operate in a fear-like paradigm, your electromagnetic sphere seems like once you put something out, don't nobody give a fuck about it. You doing this, you doing that, don't nobody really care. You're not consistent, you're not persistent, you're not clear on your messaging because you're not clear on yourself. You more clear on your fear. 10 times out of 10, I run into people who know exactly what they don't want. What will happen if something bad happened that They don't do the thing that's centered more in love because they don't understand that the sun gives and receives from a nuclear position. It generates its own energy. There is no spiritual guru. There is no deep person that will make your heart beat nor make your heart stop. You do that yourself. It's a very natural, spiritual, beautiful process. So whereas when you talk about your magnetization and the betterment of your life, it breaks down into two simple understandings. Is your magnetic field strong or is your magnetic field weak? For which, if your magnetic field is weak, you're dealing with oppositions or squares or energies that's out of alignment. But when things are happening the way that you want to, is because your magnetism is high. It's been a long time since people have felt like, oh shit, things is working out for me. Because now you have to do the work. Spiritual people who haven't done the work, been more or less operating on a specific high for these past couple of years, is more or less of being in conjunction to strong spiritual people. But at certain times, you either going to clash or you're going to develop your own orbit. You're going to develop your own pulse. You're not going to follow other people. You're not going to be dependent on what people are doing for you, what they're not doing for you. You are the sun. You are a nucleus and protons. If you can't meditate, if you can't attend, if you can't do rituals, then please don't complain. If you can't look at your chart and see where you're weak at or see where you're strong at, what houses align with your astrological chart? Where's your strong points at? Where are your weak points at? Because your strong points, you may not have to work as much. If you got third house placements, right? But you know, and you don't got no seventh house placements, you ain't gonna have to be working hard on communicating more as you're gonna have to be working on relationship skills. Because if you don't got seventh house placements, you're gonna have to really work on your relationship. And sometimes you can be heavily aspected in the seventh house and not really work on your relationships, but yet and still people love you. And then you might look at the girl next door saying, why do all of those guys like her, but they don't like me? She might got different aspects. Her magnetic field might be stronger than yours. Her purpose and plan might be to be the world's greatest woman to men, and yours isn't, right? It's different. Your magnetic field is your life. But you create your magnetic field from your heartbeat. Your heartbeat is an electric impulse. There are electrical cells that send your heart messages to say beep, right? It's a completely electrical magnetic process that's called life. Everything, man, from getting into an accident versus not getting into an accident, a piano falling on your face versus a piano falling right next to you, is all relation to magnetic field patterns, because there is no right or wrong. There is no guarantee in life. There is only knowing your purpose and plan versus being somewhat confused and then leading to a crash. When two planets are out of orbit, this is why when like two people get into a car wreck, it's like more or less that both of those people are wrong in a sense. Because it's like we all have a focus. We all have a plan and an orbit. And never have we seen planets crash into each other for the history of human society. We've only seen planets operate on a particular orbit. And this is why you can see people grow up to be 100 years old. Then you can say, damn, that person died when they was only 18. Why is it people that live long and then people that don't really live long? If there wasn't a such thing as an orbit, if there wasn't a such thing as a path. Because ultimately, if we were like life should consist of, we've all had near-death experiences where we didn't look all the time, like done ran past a stop sign or ran through a red light when it was a green light, done some crazy shit. But when your electromagnetic field is strong, it seems to bypass you. Some other people, it doesn't work that way. So you got to really start to understand your personal energy by studying your personal chart. And don't try to understand your chart in one time. So many people say, well, I don't understand my chart. How long did you study it? I mean, I didn't study at all. I just looked at it. I seen lines and signs and things, and I didn't. Did you investigate what those symbols meant? No, I just didn't understand it. Okay, good talk, right? So I'm saying that all to say, astrology explained, how to read natal charts easily and effectively. These are spiritual tools that if you read them, glance over them from time to time, completely useless. But if you sit down with a notebook and really get to understand Mars, Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto in your chart, the aspects, then you'll understand, okay, my Neptune and my Sun are conjunct. That means that my Neptune and my Sun represent a strong magnetic response. My Sun and my Neptune are opposed. That means my Sun energy and my Neptune energy would be weak. Now, weak is not like an end all be all. The weakest things end up becoming the stronger things because the stronger things never work as hard to become as strong as they need to be. Thus, the saying goes, hard work outworks talent every day. There are people that are talented that's at a train stop or a truck stop right now, probably could sing better than Mariah Carey and Janet Jackson put together. And there's girls and women who can't sing as good as the girl at the truck stop, but yet and still, if you work hard, you can find yourself in better situations, but it's not working hard based upon what you see externally. You can work hard based upon your chart as, oh shit, I don't have any third house placements. I don't have any 12th house placements. And then start to understand what these house placements mean, so forth and so on, and begin to work on these things. If you begin to work on these things or begin to understand your chart, even from a strong point, not even worry about what you're weak at, worrying about what you're strong at and making those points stronger and making these points more pronounced, then you will get into the space of attracting the things that you really want to attract. One of the most important aspects to my chart, and I'll show you guys real quick since we're here.